Hi folks, welcome again to the Sabres Reloaded, the video on this channel, folks, that talks about topics within the organization. And today's topic I came up with, guys, it's going to be a bit of a countdown topic today, okay? I came up, guys, with the 5 potential liabilities this year that we have to have, as a fan, be prepared for, because I do think that we can, hold on guys, let me put my computer down because it's kind of glaring down here. I do believe that these things can happen. I'm not saying they will, okay? Not saying they will. I want to be definitely clear on that. No, that's not what I'm saying. Give me a sec, guys, because of course, my glasses are dirty, like they always are, when I never clean them on time. But these are potential things as a fan, I would say over the years, as I would say, just as a fan, and that I've lived through, you know, that things can happen like this. So let's eat it up. We'll go from number 5, work our way up, and I got players and situations that can happen here. So I kind of kept the players for last. And I'm not saying that this is the number 1 doesn't mean, I kind of put it in just in perspective, guys. Let's just go through it. Number 5, guys, we used up our roster spots, okay? Now, using up our roster spots I get it. They have to have a full team. I get it. They've been great with the money, so I'm good with what I see when I look at on paper what we have for what we're spending. I'm great with it, guys, I am. But, you know, I don't like the idea that a guy, let's say like Zach Benson, is a write-off to make the team this year. An automatic write-off. I don't want to get into that mentality because there's no way to know. This kid comes in and wows and just looks amazing. Well, he's just as big as Gretzky was. When Gretzky was a kid in a league that was a lot more aggressive and dangerous than it is now. Now it's a high-tech speed league that doesn't have the goons it used to. So, you know, he's safe to play in this league. He is. But using up our roster spots, guys, I'm not crazy about some of the veterans we kept on the team. I'm just not. I'm not. I would have rather seen the kids get these spots, okay? And time to let guys like Tuck lead in the dressing room. But we'll see, like Okposo, Gergensons, I want to see what these guys bring to the table this year. It's going to be important. They can't just be there for mentorship, okay? A Stanley Cup team, you have to produce on the ice as well. Bergeron was mentorship in Boston, right? But he produced at a high level, and he retired at a high level. These guys are way past any chance of producing at a high level. That's the way I see it. So that's number 5. Using up those roster spots. Kind of irks me still. We'll see. Number 4, early season injuries, guys. Early season injuries is something that can happen and can offset the momentum of a season. We can go into this season feeling good, feeling great, starting 8-1-1, and then boom, Levi's out with a groin injury. All of a sudden, tuck shoulder. Something happens. You guys get where I'm coming from with this. Something can happen. Tage gets hurt. Something can happen early in the season that then you have to play catch-up hockey the rest of the year. I'm not bad with that. I don't have to finish first this year to feel good about this season, guys, really. It's about getting in the playoffs and causing damage. That's what I want to see this year. More than regular season. I don't want to be just a regular season team. We leave that for the Toronto Maple Leafs, not for us. No. I want to see the Sabres this year, guys, walk into the season with a major chip on their shoulder after the way it ended last year. And they're going to, so I'm not worried about that. But early season injuries can interfere with that. These are just, guys, potential liabilities, okay? Number 3, I got Victor Olofsson, guys. Victor Olofsson could be a liability if he just tweaks a hand or something, and then the rest of the season he's eating up a roster spot, not scoring again for 25 or 30 games. We can't have that happen this year if we're going to make the playoffs. We can't. He's not 100%, he should be sitting because he doesn't bring anything else to the table when he's out there. He just doesn't. Okay? And I know that offends some Sabres fans. I really don't care because I know I'm right. Okay? I care about the team, not about the fans' feelings. I care about this team making the playoffs and making a Stanley Cup run. I think Victor Olofsson is a liability if he can't score. We don't need him out there because he doesn't hit. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't really do very much besides score. And we know he has a cannon for a shot. There's no doubt about that. He does. But we need more from him if he's not 100% this year. We can't have him eating up one of those roster spots I was just talking about. But Victor Olofsson's a huge roster spot. He's $5 million, 4.75. And he could score 40 goals or he could score 14, depending how he's feeling. That's important. Number 2, guys, UPL. Okay, UPL last year, he just wasn't consistent. Okay, he wasn't. He wasn't consistent. He looked really good some nights, and then he looked crap the next. That can't happen this year. Not if we're gonna, guys. If we're gonna make the playoffs, we have to not be nice guys about this. Okay, this is something that we have to be honest with ourselves. And I've seen Sabres fans go as far to say he could be a future Vezina winner. No. Just no, he's not. You know, he could be a future Olofsson type goalie where he comes into his 30s and he's really good, not Vezina material, but a really good goalie that could maybe bring us in a deep playoff run all of a sudden, like he did with the Oilers in 07. I'm not just talking about him as a Sabre. I'm remembering what he did with the Oilers too. So there's potential there. There is. I can't see UPL being one of these guys that he has the body for it. I just don't believe he's mentally strong like Devon Levi. Devon Levi, for me, is a mentally strong human being. Nothing seems to faze that kid when he's out there. Nothing seems to faze him. Whereas UPL, I see when he's not feeling right. You can tell in the nets. He has holes everywhere. They're beating him on the glove side, the blocker, high, low. He's just being beaten everywhere. And I believe that's mental more than I do physical because he has the body for that not to happen. Levi really doesn't have a big body like him and makes these outstanding saves. So I think, UPL, if he could ever fit in as a good, solid backup, 25-game backup goalie, I would be thrilled with that, guys. Thrilled. I don't see him as a starter in the NHL. I'm going to just start saying that probably on the channel. Till I see UPL slap together a full season. He had opportunity last year, and in my opinion, he didn't run away with it, and he had enough games, enough starts, and he didn't take it and run away with it like a great goalie should. And don't give me the young thing. He's old enough that shouldn't, he's not 19 in nets. He's not 20. He's like years older than that. Years. And years at that age is a lot. It's just kind of where I stand with UPL. Am I writing him off? No. Do I wish we had another goalie with Levi? Yes. That's how I feel about UPL. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I do. I hope I'm wrong. Number 1, guys, a step backwards. Could we take a step backwards this year? And people say, what do you mean? How are we going to take a step backwards? Well, that happens with rebuilds. That happens with young teams. I could show you the Colorado Avalanche before they won their Stanley Cup. Looking really good with this kid named McKinnon as a rookie. They started the season 12-1. They won 50 games. And then they nosedive for a few years and climbed right back up out of that steadily after that to a Stanley Cup eventually, which took years. Took time in Colorado. It didn't just happen overnight. It looked like it was going to once upon a time when they had Patrick Waugh as the coach out there. That's just one example, okay? The other example, honestly, the 84 Sabres. They had a better year than 83, but they weren't playoff ready at all. And I don't want a team like that because the truth is he had that great 83 run, and they didn't win a playoff round for 10 years after that. And I would have sworn they were headed to a cup in 83 very soon. And I don't want that to happen again in our history. That old saying, history can repeat itself. Yeah, but I believe we're due for some luck too. as a franchise. I don't believe it's going to happen that way. I don't believe it's going to break down that way. And I believe the way that the Sabres are kind of getting lucky in the draft. Guys, we're getting lucky in the draft. We're not giving up assets to get these assets. We've managed to save a few assets the last 2 years that we probably should have had to trade away to get these other guys that we got. And things start changing that way, you know things are turning in your favor. It always starts with the draft. For me, a build of a team always starts with the draft, guys. Could we take a step backwards? Yes, we could. We could. I'm prepared for it. I know I called them to finish first this year. What if the Sabres finish sixth in the division and we're just disappointed with the year? And we're like this at the end of the year? Well, what I would say is they might explode the next year then. That could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. So I'm just leaving it out there. It could happen. So guys, again, potential liabilities. I'm not saying these things are going to happen. They're just potential. But the way things are going, the way our momentum train is going, to be honest, I don't think any of this will happen. My biggest concerns in all this wouldn't be so much using up the roster spots. That's why I kind of hit the bottom with it. The early season injuries, concerning. Olofsson, concerning. UPL, concerning. Those concern me, okay? The step backwards, my biggest fear is could we take a step backwards this year just because we're young? Yes, we could. Do I think we will? No, I just don't. I don't, because we're long overdue as a franchise mathematically for something really big to happen. I believe it's this year. All right, guys, done for this one. See you in the nightcap.